He is a busy man. Former NFL player, Ross Tucker Pod, my front page gift, which we're about to discuss with Mother's Day around the corner, Eagles, broadcast, Odyssey, CBS Sports, Westwood One, and more, college football and the NFL. Ross Tucker joins us now via Zoom on 365 Sports with Craig and Paul, David Smoke. Ross, thank you so much. Always great to have you on the show. We will get to my front page, the gift, in just a moment. What are your thoughts about the Heisman Trophy's note today and decision on Reggie Bush?
I think it's terrible, David. He's the only Heisman Trophy winner that ever got any money in college or any benefits. There is no way he should be able to have that. It really is just comical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, can you even imagine what Herschel Walker and Bo Jackson got in the early 80s at Georgia and Auburn? I mean, and obviously a lot of other ones have been documented over the years, and they've even admitted to it, right? But it's always been comical. I posted that on social media today at Ross Tucker NFL. And of course, 90% of the people thought it was hilarious and they knew what I was saying. And there's always 5 to 10% of the people that don't realize I'm joking. And that's even better. You know, it's like, come on, man. I mean, you really think a guy that's been a football guy my whole life doesn't realize what's been going on with these college players? I mean, the 80s especially. Give me a break.
Oh, look, Ross, I can tell you, Gil Brandt told us on the show once after he revealed it in a book that Jeff Perlman wrote about the USFL that he was negotiating with Herschel Walker before the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, so there's so much that went on there. All right, Ross, the draft is tomorrow. Who do you think the 4 quarterbacks will be that go? Will J.J. McCarthy get up in the top 5?
You know, that is the question, right? So I feel extremely confident that Caleb Williams goes 1 to the Bears, Jaden Daniels goes 2 to Washington. The draft really starts now at number 3 with the New England Patriots. They could take Drake May. They could take J.J. McCarthy. They could trade down because there's a lot of reports out there that the Minnesota Vikings love Drake May and want to move up for him. I think the expectation is that somebody will trade up to 4 with the Arizona Cardinals for one of these quarterbacks. So I think that's where it really gets interesting. It seems like the Patriots are leaning Drake May. What I find really interesting about that is, you know, I've had all the quarterback gurus, I feel like, come on my show, fellas, right? I mean, it's called the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, but I had Phil Simms watched all these guys. Chase Daniel, you know, Texas's own from Dallas, South Lake Carroll, who just retired. He watched them all. Greg Cosell from NFL Films, Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick. What I find so interesting is that there was a consensus. They were almost unanimous that they really liked Jaden Daniels, loved what he did, and they made it sound like they thought he was the best guy, a bunch of them. They really did. But they also all had concerns about Drake May. I mean, they all did. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. One of them said they were really disappointed watching Drake May. One said he missed a lot of layups. Another called him raw. Another said that the throw-to-throw accuracy isn't there. That's concerning to me, right? I don't pretend to be a quarterback guru. I'm not going to come on your show, David, and say, oh, he's got bad footwork. Like, give me a break, okay? I don't know quarterback footwork. Like, I'm not going to be that guy. But if I trust all these quarterback guys to come on my show and they all say the same thing about 2 guys, I'm going to believe them. Otherwise, why do I even have them on my show? So I think that there's a lot of concern with Drake May. Now, what people have said is they say, oh, he's got some similarities to Josh Allen, right? Where a little bit raw, you know, but the physical tools are there. Well, first of all, Josh Allen is humongous. Drake May's not that big. Josh Allen might have the most ridiculous arm I've ever seen. Drake May's arm is good. It's not that. I think Josh Allen's faster than Drake May. So I think they need to, relax with those comparisons a little bit. But I do think the Patriots, it sounds like if they had to do it right now, they'll take Drake May unless somebody blows them away.
Well, Ross, so you're talking to a room that has three guys who are Washington fans, and I see a couple of those throwbacks, those very nice Washington throwbacks behind you there. Well, you answered my question. Jaden Daniels, I mean, we know they're going quarterback. He's been the one long rumored, so I guess I don't even have a question. I guess it's just reassuring to hear that there's a lot of smart folks who seem to think he'll be the guy because Lord knows Washington needs it, especially with this new era getting kickstarted. Do you kind of feel that momentum potentially building for that organization for the first time in a while?
Yeah, so a couple things. First of all, both those helmets are sweet, aren't they?
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
oh my God.
They're great.
You know, the authentic Washington Redskin originally, and then over there, that was the 2002 season with Spurrier. I think it was like the 70th anniversary of the team or whatever. So I started every preseason game, and we wore that in all the games. It was really I had these awesome gold pants that go with it. It was awesome. By the way, how are there so many Washington fans in Waco? How'd that happen?
Hey,
Well, I spawned one of them. I didn't, but I guess I did. Because you know what? That's who we are, and we're not changing.
The
I
other
love
one's
it.
not
I
here.
love it.
The other
I
one's
always
not here,
ask you
Ross.
this.
Yeah.
I always ask this. Waco, okay? Give me the percentage Cowboys,
Oh, it's-
percentage Texans, percentage other.
Well, I'd say
95.
we're transplants to
Yeah.
here, so
Well,
we're not.
I
So
was
we're
in
probably
military, Brad, so
throwing.
we're
probably throwing off the averages a little bit. So I'd say like 95% Cowboys in this area.
I would say 95% Cowboys, 4% Texans, 1% other.
Yeah.
And you guys are the 1%
No.
guys.
I'm a 95er.
Yeah.
I'm a 95er.
Oh.
I just
Our producer,
Yeah.
Craig, and me, we are the lifelong Washington fans.
So, you know, the Jaden Daniels thing, the thing I think is interesting there. So everybody, by the way, loves him. You know, Chase Daniels said he's the best progression reader coming out of college he's seen in years. We all know that he can run. I mean, you can see, everybody can see he can run, that like the Florida game. But to hear them rave about him as a pocket passer, I thought was really impressive. I think he might be a better prospect than Caleb Williams, but he might need to get a new agent. I mean, I don't know what his agent's doing on social media, criticizing the Commanders' pre-draft process. How does that help you at all? I mean, this is like amateur hour to me. You know, this is the team that's going to draft your client. Why have any negativity going into it? Why have anybody think that he doesn't want to go there? Why have anybody thinking that you're criticizing him before they even draft you? It's just, it's a clown show.
It really is, and it doesn't make sense because that's where he's going, as you said, and that could also just kind of alienate just a handful of people. Obviously, he plays well and they win. They'll love him forever. And by that Spear helmet in the background, Steve Spurrier, who hated Florida State, that looks like an FSU helmet in a way, and that's also very similar to the days of Charlie Taylor, Sonny Jurgensen, and those names too.
No, that is the helmet.
Oh,
that is
okay,
the helmet
okay.
those guys wore.
All right, okay, good.
Yeah, that's why we wore it. That is the helmet that those guys wore.
Beautiful.
And it is funny now that you look back on it, because Spurrier, who, by the way, by far the worst coach I ever had. I have no idea how he had so much success in college, by far. But, yeah, that probably rubbed him the wrong way, that we were rocking that looking like Florida State out there as a Florida Gator coach. You know, we killed everybody that preseason. Like, we were winning preseason games by 30 points. I think maybe he thought they counted. I don't know. Because then the regular season started and it did not go that well.
What made him so bad at being an NFL coach?
Well, first of all, you know, the opening night before training camp started, the year before we had Marty Schottenheimer, and the hair on your neck was standing up and you were ready to go snap somebody's neck, right? Spurrier said, we were at training camp. He said, men, I went to 12 of these here training camps when I was a player. And, you know, I don't remember one good thing we ever got out of them. But Mr. Snyder wants us to be here, so let's try to get something out of it. Wow. It's like, what? That's the speech at the start of the year? We had 2 protections. I remember we're playing the Steelers, and there's no hot reads for the court. I'm going to tell you guys a story. And I know we don't have that much more time, but I'll tell you guys a story, okay? Mm-hmm. Patrick Ramsey is starting for for Washington, for the Redskins at the time, 2002 against the Saints. He's a rookie from Tulane, okay? There's no hot reads in Spurrier's offense. the quarterback's supposed to audible or quote unquote make a play, right? So we have this protection on where we slide the line to the left. And the Saints look like they're bringing a blitz from the right. So Spurrier's on the sideline yelling, drink. Ramsey looks over and he goes, Ringo slide, which meant we slid the line to the right. Patrick looks at him and goes, okay, Ringo slide. As soon as he says that, the Saints rotate out of it. That guy just drops back. The other guy on the other side drops down. And Spurrier says, Patrick. Ramsey looks over. Go back to blue slide. Ramsey goes, okay. Delay a game. I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, what are we? Like, my high school was more advanced than that. Like, we're yelling from the sideline, the audibles. Like, are you kidding? This is like junior high football at this point.
That's awesome. Ross, myfrontpagestory.com, if you want to, we've done this with you during these special occasions, and yet again, Mother's Day around the corner.
Best Mother's Day gift ever. David, I know with your writing background, you can appreciate it. We try to hire you, but you're too expensive.
Oh.
You talk to one of our writers on the phone for 10 minutes, tell them how great your mom is, you want to get it for your wife, whatever. They write the most unbelievable story. And as you can see, for those of you watching, it is framed, it's beautiful, pictures of your mom or your grandma with the kids or the grandkids. I've seen so many videos now where the moms burst into tears. It's unbelievable. Moms are everybody's first round pick. Mm-hmm. So get them the gift they deserve. myfrontpagestory.com. myfrontpagestory.com. They will absolutely love it. I'd be shocked if they didn't. And like my mom, they have it hanging up in their house. So it's a daily reminder of how much you love them.
Good deal there, Ross. Appreciate that, man. I do want to squeeze in one more question here because you provided us the insight that all your guests have had on the podcast and the people that you've talked to. When it comes to wide receivers, because that's clearly what's the deepest in this draft as far as the offensive talent goes, do you feel like with that top group you kind of just close your eyes and throw a dart and you're going to end up with a stud? I know it's more complicated than that, but, man, is it a deep group this year?
Well, especially the top three guys are like top 5, top 10 caliber players. And that's really, really impressive. I'm still a Marvin Harrison Jr. guy. I do believe in the size and the bloodlines. And, you know, I'm from outside of Philly. He played at St. Joe's Prep. And that kid's been a pro since he's been in high school, you know? Whereas there's some whispers out there that I've read some reports about Malik Neighbors and, you know, concerns with professionalism or whatever. You know, that's not a concern with Marvin Harrison Jr. He's been a marked guy since his true freshman year, and he's still produced. But a lot of people love Rome Dunze, too. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with those top three guys.
Ross Tucker, again, myfrontpagestory.com, the best, most unique gift you can give your mother for Mother's Day, grandmother, or whoever it might be. Thank you for your time, as always. Great stories, buddy. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Of course. My pleasure. Always great talking with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Ross Tucker, Odyssey, CBS Sports, college football, the NFL, Eagles broadcast. He's loaded up Westwood 1, too.
Yeah, I should probably rephrase that. The top 3